guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we are the Office Blokes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's true. Got a Christmas special coming out on Christmas Day. This may be before or after then, but you can watch it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah,
It's true.
That'll be good.
Just keep your eye out for that. There'll be a couple of things over Christmas that are random little 10-second clips getting released on the channel here and there.
Oh dear.
Nice.
Bit of
Oh
Office,
dear.
Office Blokes Confidential is getting drip fed into the main channel as well. So
Yeah.
keep your eye out for all that good stuff. Right then, Jimmy Carr versus the United States of America.
Taking a lot on there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I've seen an early Jimmy Carr special that was like 2009, I think 2008 in the States. And although nowadays he says he doesn't change his style for an American audience, he did.
Yeah.
Like he said things differently, used
got it,
different references, and it wasn't as gritty. It was like watered down Jimmy.
Right, okay.
Nowadays he says he doesn't do that. This was quite early on.
Fair enough.
Nowadays, he just looks like a Lego man.
He does.
It's proper plastic, doesn't
He
he?
does. He's got a new special coming out on Netflix.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, last night I saw it and I was like, fuck yeah. Sat down, tried to put it on. It was like a 30-second trailer.
You've not paid your bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or your rent.
yeah, on my rent. Yeah. At some point, it's coming out on Netflix over Christmas, I presume.
Good.
But that is getting watched.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely love a bit of Jimmy Carr.
Yeah,
So let's do it. Jimmy versus the United States of America. Let's do this.
They say travel broadens the mind, except with Americans, which tends to widen the arse. A lot of people quote the fact that only 10% of Americans have passports. The thing is, they say it like it's a bad thing. Don't get the wrong idea, I've got nothing against Americans. Just one came up to me after a show a couple of weeks ago and said he thought I was patronising. I said, well, I think you'll find that's pronounced patronising. It means when you talk down to someone. Don't worry, I'm not being condescending. I'm far too busy thinking about important things you wouldn't understand. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Did you know you're 10 times more likely to get mugged in London than you are in New York City? It's because you don't live in New York City. See, my favourite news story of the last year came from America. I'm sure you all saw this story in the papers or on TV. It was a story about a man in Utah, an American man, who he was out rambling in the wilds of Utah, the beautiful desert landscape, and there was a rock fall, and he got his hand trapped underneath a massive boulder, and he had to sever his own hand in order to walk to freedom. Incredible story about human courage and spirit. Did you all see that story? Well, I can't believe anyone saw it and didn't ask themselves the question, because I think it does beg the question, would I be able to do that? I've given it quite a lot of thought, and I think yes, I would be able to do that. What do I care about an American's hand? If it's life or death, I'll cut his fucking head off. The other story that sort of tickled me from America, not quite as inspiring, I'll be absolutely honest with you, was the story of an English woman and an American man. This made the papers earlier in the year. They were flying from JFK to London Heathrow, never met each other before, flying in first class. They just knew each other for 8 hours, and they were arrested as they came into land at Heathrow. And the reason they were arrested was because the lady was filleting the man. I mean sucking off. Yes, as they came into land, the lady was filleting the man. I myself prefer a boiled sweet. I just can't quite imagine how that happened. Presumably, at some point, she turned to him and said, "My ears are popping. Have you got a boiled sweet?" And he said, no, I haven't, but I've got an idea. You going to McDonald's? You might...
I see Jimmy Carr as like a scientist comedian. I feel like he's deconstructed comedy in such a way that he knows a lot of it is very clever, but there's also the quick fire stuff.
Yeah.
People have to pause for a second.
Yeah, he's great. I like it when he sort of like just rips into the audience or into the crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
That bit there,
he's
he's talking
really
about patronising. That was funny.
Yeah.
That actually, I hate to say it, but the trailer for his new special had that in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It was just that trailer was him talking to a woman in the front of the audience about patronising means talking down to you.
Yeah.
So
he's very good. He's very good at that as well.
Oh, I know. He's doing like a podcast tour at the moment. He seems to be on loads of podcasts.
You're quite nice.
He's talking. We can get him on. I'll give him a call. But he's quite serious. He's not on there to be funny. He's actually talking about life and things he's been through and stuff. Really interesting.
You're talking about the Inland Revenue.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so he's opened up about it quite a lot. He said, basically, he was working with an accountant, and the accountant said, this is how much you've got to pay unless you do this, this, and this. And then he went, well, that sounds good, let's do that.
Yeah.
Until they got a knock on the door from Inland Revenue and said he'd been a naughty boy.
Look, he's not in jail.
I don't think he broke the law. I just think it was loopholes and stuff.
Was it?
But I
suppose if you're in this position, you've got loads of money, you probably would take the counsel of an
accountant,
wouldn't you? You'd probably say to them, is it legal? If they said, well, yeah, you'd probably go along with it, wouldn't you? Say, right, fair enough, just crack on with it.
What if they say no?
That's what I'm paying you for. Well,
what was that?
Say nothing.
I've never seen him
Plead the fifth.
Yeah, but I've never seen him in a serious conversation.
It's good.
I've only ever seen him doing comedy.
The podcast I saw him on is called Diary of a CEO.
Oh, okay.
And it's a guy that's on the Dragon's Den now. He's one of the dragons.
Yeah.
He's a young lad. And Jimmy Carr is great. Really good.
There later on, you might need a poo. Have you noticed how underneath McDonald's it still says restaurant? Who's that for? Who doesn't know what McDonald's do? And also, restaurant. Is it a restaurant? Really? You guys are a couple, right? How long have you been together? A year and a bit. Okay, so long-term relationship, year and a bit, you've been together. How annoyed would you be, madam, on a scale between 1 and fucking very, if next Valentine's he said to you, yeah, I booked a restaurant, yeah. Yeah, I spoke to the maitre d'. Yeah. Ronald, I think his name was. He was either the maitre d' or a 5-star general, because he had the whole bit, aren't he? I've organised a table for 2 and he recommends the filet-o-fish. You'd fucking kill him, wouldn't you? And who doesn't know what McDonald's do at this stage? You'd have to have been living underground for 25 fucking years. Was ist das? Hamburger. Schnitzel. Schnitzel for the Fritzel.
Why's he got a picture of Muhammad Ali behind him?
I got stopped outside of McDonald's. This guy said to me the other day, he said, this cheap food is only made possible by GM farming, cruelty to animals and the exploitation of workers in the third world. I said, all right, hold up. You had me at cheap food. I'm going in, there's no need for the hard sell. All that other stuff is just a bonus. It's very much like, after talking to you for about an hour, it's like being at a dinner party and realising you're the only one on cocaine. You find yourself thinking, they're not a very chatty bunch. If it wasn't for me, this would be shit. I was going to tell you a story about a gig I did recently. I did a gig for Mojo Magazine. It's a big, pop magazine. And did a gig, it all went well. I was doing their award show for them. They invited me on. They said, yeah, will you do our awards? I said, my pleasure, lovely. Lots of rock stars and rock chicks, be cool. There was the awards there. I was just doing sort of 10-minute stand-up to begin with. I told a slightly anti-American joke. I said, of course, in Britain, we've got to eat as much as you like restaurants, whereas in America, you've got to eat as much as you can. You've added that important ingredient, competition. So not only could you be enjoying a delicious meal, you could be beating a personal best. Thus, the necessity for 3 pockets on the back of your jeans, you fat fucks. And a voice from the back of the room shouted, fuck off! I thought, I presume you're American, are you? He said, yes. I said, think of it as friendly fire.
That definitely rubbed some people the wrong way, the friendly fire comment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've watched a few, like Ross Kemp and stuff, where they talk about that.
Yeah.
The soldiers don't have the animosity. It's like it's general people on the street who don't know what's actually going on. The joke about it. That's a rough one. That.
Yeah.
He then shouted, fuck off again, but louder. I thought, well, I better deal with this. I said, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason I got into comedy and doing this kind of thing is because I thought it would be a bit of a fanny magnet. I wasn't expecting a cunt like that. At At which point, the editor of Mojo Magazine, who was sitting just down here, got up and looked like he was going to come around and pull me off. Not like that. That was funny, well done. No, you go ahead. I sort of signalled to him to stop. I signalled to him to stop. I said, I'm sorry, sir, it was a cheap shot. It's a bullseye, doesn't matter. And I apologise unreservedly, sir. I did not mean to... Well, I mean, the thing was, the line got a laugh, but then there was an audible, ooh. I thought, well, who have I told to fuck off? It was a guy called Anthony Kiedis.
Singer of the Chili Peppers, isn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I'd noticed on the way in that he was on the cover of Mojo Magazine, and I wasn't. I thought, this is a social faux pas of epic proportions. And I thought, well, I better apologise unreservedly. I said, I am sorry. If I've caused any offence, I'm sorry. I did not mean to call you a cunt. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you don't have the depth or the capacity to give pleasure. I'd say comfortably 4 minutes later, I was presenting him with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I broke up with a girl once because she lied about her weight. I say that, she died in a bungee jumping accident. You see, because she was heavier than... Has anyone got anything he could be colouring in? You look like some kind of surfer dude. What's your name?
John,
John? Where are you from, John?
the United States.
Well done. John, do you know the difference between a British soldier and an Iraqi soldier? Know the difference? And what do you do, John? What are you doing over here? I don't need to check your papers. I'm just checking, just asking.
I'm a college professor on vacation.
You're a college professor on vacation. Okay, sounds like a setup for a movie. With hilarious consequences. And then he asked me for a fag. Oh. Fanny? I thought he meant bum. Oh. Yes. So what do you teach?
I teach philosophy and religious studies.
Philosophy and religious studies. Well done. So, do you teach philosophy to the brighter kids, and then if they don't get the hang of it, you go, I just believe in God, don't matter. Is this racist? Do Chinese people have guess who? I tried that joke for the first time in a tiny little 50-seater theatre above a pub, and there was a Chinese lady front and centre, and she laughed enough that she sort of bent forward and a little look up on, no. Genuinely weird. I like to think of myself as an equal opportunities offender. I like to think I offend everyone and therefore no one, because it's kind of a blanket bombing approach to offence. It's like I'm not picking on any group, and also I'm not really making any points, am I? I'm just trying to make you laugh for a couple of hours. That's my only job in this world. I'm not trying to make any points or change anyone's mind about anything. And the best defence of a joke is always, it's just a joke. I was only joking. Relax, we're just trying to make you giggle. When you try and say something that's true, earnestly, from the heart, that's when it can fuck up much more spectacularly in your face. I've got a story about this. Do you want to hear it? Yeah. It's a story about PC blowing up in a friend's face. So this mate of mine, it's quite a long story, which is unusual for me, but it's a doozy, you'll enjoy it. This mate of mine runs a comedy club, okay, at a university. He's in his mid-60s now, he's been running it since the early 80s, it's a legendary club. Anyway, runs this thing, he's quite a right-on kind of guy. If there's a petition to sign, he's signing it and forwarding the email to me. If there's a march to go on, he's on the march. Very right-on, political, involved kind of guy. Anyway, he runs this comedy club. This incident happened about 12 years ago. He decided to put on a night of American stand-up comedy. There happened to be 3 American stand-ups in London the same weekend, okay? So he decided, well, instead of just booking one of them, I'll book all 3 of them. We'll make it like a themed evening, like the 4th of July. We'll get hot dogs and Budweiser and what have you. It'll be fun. So everyone comes to the evening. There's like 300 people in the club. and he's all excited about it. The first act goes up on stage. He's a black American stand-up out of New York City, and he does what I would refer to as an Uncle Tom routine. If you're not familiar with the terminology, that means he did a racist routine. All his jokes were based on negative racist stereotypes. He got away with it. He was a very charismatic performer. He was very handsome, but the material was terrible. I mean, it was like, at best, it was white guys drive like this and black guys drive like this. Nonsense, ill-observed nonsense. At worst, it was stuff that would make your skin crawl, okay? He totally got away with it that night. He got a big round of applause at the end of about half an hour set, and he walked back to the green room at the club, and my mate went in after him, and he went up to him, and he said, I want a word. You'll get paid for tonight's gig, there's no problem with that, but you would not be welcome back at my club telling those kind of jokes. I think it's racist, I think it's wrong. I don't think it's okay for you to tell racist jokes just because you're a black guy. I think if anything, you should know better. I think it denigrates the struggle of the African American people, and you can never say that no one's told you so, because I'm telling you so right now, it's racist and it's wrong. And the comedian went, I agree. When you're right, you're right. But I'm the other black comic. I haven't been on yet.
That was worth waiting for. Oh, brilliant.
I've heard that bit recently, and it just twigged halfway through. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
That's class, that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, I think he's trying to work on more long-form jokes like that. Because a lot of it is like
quite short,
quick-fire jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, that proves he can do it, because that
was funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant.
He's a funny guy.
He is.
Absolutely. But I think he was alluding to it before. I mean, I think at the moment it's getting a bit cancel culture now over here, isn't it? It's been a bit on the news, hasn't it, recently, about people think it's just going a bit too far, and what jokes can you tell? Because people are just getting so offended by absolutely everything at the moment.
It's young kids who get offended. That's fucking
they don't know anything.
Yeah. They don't know anything. Yeah.
What Jimmy Carr said about that is he has already told the joke that's going to get him cancelled. So he's relaxed about it, because he's like, all my jokes are out there, my specials are out there. I've already said that thing that's going to get me cancelled.
That's what I've been saying about that going back, the
retrospectively cancelling
people. What to say now, because the people are just going to go trolling back over the last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. Yeah. 'Cause it's all out there, isn't it? Like you say,
it is, but
get cancelled.
We've talked about this before. It's about intent, isn't it? A little bit. Are you at a rally? Are you trying to rally the troops against someone, or are you just making jokes?
Yeah.
And like equal opportunities offender, as Jimmy Carr calls it. Are you going after everyone? And if so, great.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. Like I always say, go after everyone. It's just comedy in the end, isn't it?
He's got plenty of ginger jokes. I'm not offended. I still like him.
Absolutely. I don't know anyone that's that moans about like cancelling or has negative views. I don't know anyone. Do you?
Not at all. No, not really.
I don't think I do. Like anyone who I used to have on Facebook years ago.
Is it more like a student at university type thing? Because they tend to.
Well, I live in a big student area, and it's, I still don't. No, I've never heard anyone moaning or complaining about stuff.
It's the loud minority of people who are trying to do it. The vast majority of people just laugh because they know it's jokes. But some people just think they're out to change the world, and their view is the world would be a utopia, if I could say. And those people are actually little dictators, and they don't realise it.
I mean, been cancelling programmes over here, haven't they? Have had a few, well, again, offensive jokes to some people in them. Like old programmes. But they've been taking them off air, haven't they? BBC programmes, like some Fawlty Towers ones, have been, getting rid of them, haven't they?
What's that? What's Alf Garnett?
Alf Garnett, yeah. Well, you can some of them, like Love Thy Neighbour. You can. Some of it's fair enough because some of it's extremely bad, isn't it?
You've kind of just contradicted your own point though there, because
I know what you mean. It's off the time.
Everyone's line is different, and you should be able to go after everyone. But then some of these programs, but I agree that some of these, it was flat out racism on some of these programs.
Yeah, Alf Garnett was real bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was that show called?
Is that what you showed me?
Something to do part.
Is that what you showed me a clip of with
when he's on the bus?
He's on the bus. Yeah. Jesus.
Bad, wasn't it?
Really bad. Yeah.
No, but that is racist though. That is proper racist. Yeah. I don't mean you can tell jokes now what people say. Oh, that's racist. That whereas,
but
you don't think it is, but it's.
At the time, that sort of comedy filled clubs.
Cool, absolutely.
And although it's racist,
filled television.
Bernard Manning was like
a lot of the comedians on the comedians, the programme. A lot of them told dodgy jokes, and a lot of it was on television.
It's hard for comedy to age well. I think it's got to be well
written.
Some of it,
definitely, absolutely. Yeah. Although we were looking at some Richard Pryor the other day, weren't we? Did one of his. That's aged pretty well.
It really has. Yeah, that's one of the first things I thought.
Because he's a class comedian, that's what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, because he's absolutely top of his game,
uses the class in his, and Jimmy Carr's comedy will be forever good.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so, definitely. And he's said loads of jokes that people could cancel him for, but he's got his own YouTube channel that's successful. He has comedy specials with people. He tours. He'll sell tickets forever, Jimmy Carr, if he wants.
Big name.
Definitely. It's brilliant, isn't he?
Look at people like Louis C.K. He's just released a new special as well.
Yeah.
Although I think it's on his website and you've got to pay for it.
Yeah, he's getting back into it though, isn't he?
But he's apparently, I think it was Joe Rogan said it's his funniest special he's ever done. Says absolutely hilarious.
Funny guy.
Well,
Anyway.
Interesting. It's good that though.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.